settled down. There's nobody really making a challenge. The second, third, fourth, and place the Hexus Aston Martin currently.
Oh, John, Beijing has a drive-through penalty. That's massive news for the team that's second in the Drivers' Championship. Well, it's a pit lane infringement, so something that the mechanics did during that pit stop, and they've got a drive-through.
Sounds like Lamborghini Gate continues here in Beijing.
That is fascinating. Now, that is really... James Rumsey likes it, because the Nissan crew will, of course, be able to gain massively on them, and this puts a completely different complexion of the championship. These guys needed to score more points than the Nissan of Lucas Lohr and Michael Krum, but with a drive-through penalty, there is no chance that they'll be able to do that in this race, and of course it puts them on the back foot for the championship race.
I can just imagine what Mark Beijing is thinking driving through. He'll get that information. He'll have a drive-through penalty to give up that hard-won second place, and then it's going to be the Aston Martin's first and second, the Nissan third, Aston Martin fourth. And who would have ever thought that was going to happen?
No, that is really bad news for Alinkle Motorsport. Alinkle really have been effective this season, but something's gone wrong on that pit stop. And this is interesting because this number 4 car, the Hexus Aston, which we've seen pushing this one, the Nissan, Hohenadel and Piccini are right up there in the championship as well. So with the Lamborghini dropping back, it'll have a massive bearing on their point situation too. They have caught that Lamborghini, but the Lamborghini has to come in the pit soon.
What will be interesting is once the Lamborghini makes that pit lane entry, will that release Muka, Lucas Lohr, to get on with the challenge to try and run down the leading Aston Martin of Thomas Enger? I think the Lamborghini's been holding this group of 3 cars behind it, holding it up, and it's being allowing Stef Dusseldorp to catch up to his teammate, and those 3 cars to run in the sort of very close area they're running.
Is it coming in yet? No, it's not. The Lamborghini stays out there for at least one more lap before Mark Beijing comes in. That windscreen wiper doing its job of keeping the screen clear.
Oh, now looking down.
Christian Hohenadel, isn't it? Once again, really putting pressure on Lucas Lohr. It's Nissan versus Aston Martin, and this is for 4th place. Any room down there? No chance to go down the inside. His teammates catching up as well. Stef Dusseldorp just behind them. The other Hexus car not far back. So Aston Martin seems to be relishing both the track and the weather conditions here today. They're running, all of their cars are running in the top 6 in this race, which is pretty impressive. All 4 Aston Martins in the top 6 of this qualifying race. Of course, it's the championship race where the big points are on offer. Back on board with Lucas Lohr here.
Yes, up to turn 10, having to go slightly defensive, running in the middle of the racetrack just to ensure that Christian Hohenadel behind in the Hexus Aston Martin doesn't have a punt down the inside into turn 10. And that has to be surely the Lamborghini's got to peel in off the racetrack this lap to serve that drive-through penalty.
There's also a drive-through for a less important car, number 47 car, where it's not so far up. But let's go down and hear from Marcus Winkelhock about this penalty for their car. Just have a quick look to see if Hohenadel's going to go through on the inside first. He's certainly having a bit of a go, but he's going to put him on the outside now for turn 3, and he can't go through there. Now they slide their way out of that one down towards the hairpin. Is he going to have a go? Yes, he has a little look down the inside. Oh, he's done it. Can he hold it on the exit? Slide.
Oh, where is the Nissan?
Yeah, exactly. And they're in, and we're with the Nissan. And the Aston's done it, but now he's wide. Oh, he's got through.
Yeah, he finally made it. He had to bully his way through, but a good job by Christian Hohenadel. He's looked threatening on the Nissan all the way through, and he looks to be the quickest of those Aston Martins in this group running right now.
So important too in terms of the championship, because they've got a real opportunity, have Piccini and Hohenadel, to further boost their points. They are 3rd in that Drivers' Championship. Good grid position in prospect. But let's get back down to Marcus Winkelhock to explain that pit lane infringement.
Marcus, yet another drive-through penalty for a pit lane infringement. It's disappointing for the team.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we are on P2 now in the moment. Okay, we are not losing that much points because it's only, I think, 4 points in the qualifying race. But I think being in the first row for the qualifying race, for the main race, would be a good position to score many points. And it's a shame, absolutely, because the car was good. I think the pace was good as well, and yeah, I think that was the championship at the end.
Do you know what the pit lane infringement was?
Yeah, one of the mechanics lost the wheel gun, and then he jumped back to pick it up, and yeah, that was the problem.
Thank you.
Right now, look at Christian Hohenadel. He's still keeping he's caught Stefan Mucker, and he's really putting the young driver Aston Martin under pressure. I tell you what, Christian Hohenadel, the reigning GT3 champion from last year, John, very impressive on a couple of occasions this year, particularly at the Sachsenring, but he is now showing some of the star names of GT1 the way to drive in the wet here.
Well, whether he's doing that purely on driving ability or whether the Hexes have done something to their car which is helping that particular Aston Martin. Clearly he harried the Nissan for a long time. Now on the tail of the second place Aston Martin as he comes down into turn one, goes to the inside or the outside of the corner, trying to go the long way around. That's very brave, but the cutback, can he make the cutback on the exit as they go through turn two and then down into turn three?
They're never going to work around the outside of Stefan Mucker because he's not going to give you the space. There's the drive-through then. I thought I saw the Lamborghini peel off. So Marc Basseng has done his drive-through. It's a long pit lane exit though here, which is horrible. Feels like forever, and he's dropping way down the field. We'll confirm next time around where he comes back out as we go back on board with Lucas Luhr. He lost the place to Christian Hohenadel a lap or two ago, but he's still with the two Aston Martins as Hohenadel now tries to get past Stefan Mucker. Just to remind you though, Thomas Enger leads this race, and these guys are all fighting for second place. So Mucker there in the white and red Aston Martin, chased by Hohenadel in the Hex's silver and black and red car, followed by Lucas Luhr here in the Nissan, still looking for all important points in the championship. Then the other Hex's car as Steph Dusseldorf is behind.
And you can hear on board Lucas Luhr coming through 11 and 12. He can't even use anywhere near full throttle. He's got to feather it all the way through. The torque of that Nissan V8 is so thuggish that it would make the back end of the car step out at any opportunity.
I can tell you that Basseng has come back out in 6th place after the drive-through, so not as bad as it might have been. He's still got a chance of getting a decent grid position. He's not really going to be able to catch these guys, but no, he's not 6th, sorry. No, we're just going to get his confirmation. He's dropped a lot more than that. He's down to at least 10th. 11th, he's dropping further down our screen, so no, that drive-through a bit advanced there. He has lost a lot of ground. Looking at Lucas Luhr here, and although he lost a place to Christian Hohenadel a couple of laps back, he's not actually lost any pace to Stefan Mucker. It seems to be Mucker who's sort of making them all run together.
Yeah, and then Mucker's now holding up this group, and was group of 4 cars. Clearly, I think Hohenadel's car is the quickest of the 3 that we're looking at. Stefan Mucker legitimately holding that second place, and if Christian Hohenadel wants to find a way through, he's going to have to rethink where his strengths are. Clearly you can see he can run down the car into turn 10, so he's just got to wait, be patient. There will be parts of the track he knows he can't run literally under the rear wing of that car consistently. You lose your momentum, you've got to fall back, build that momentum back up again, and then have another look.
So just over 11.5 minutes remaining in a race of twists and turns. Let's just remind you, the Ford GT that was on pole position and led the first lap or two went off in the hands of Bertrand Baguette. That handed the lead to Darren Turner. Darren Turner led until the pit stops, but then an earlier pit stop from the other Aston Martin of Alex Muller and Thomas Enger seemed to transfer the advantage to those guys, and they were then able to come out ahead. That means that Enger now leads this race. The other Aston of Stefan Mucker is holding on to second after the Lamborghini. This car had a drive-through penalty. This car is all the way down in 12th place now, and it ain't going to be easy to pass the Nissan of Jamie Campbell-Walter, because you can bet the instruction has gone out to Jamie, do not let that car through.
But Jamie Campbell-Walter appeared to struggle from the second he got into the car. Maybe he's gotten used to it now, cut back into turn 5, but really the Lamborghini capable of running much, much quicker. Marc Basseng, what he's got to do is not be impetuous, just wait. He'll get an opportunity and not try and force it where he may cause damage to his own car, and therefore just compound the situation he's found himself in.
For Alinkel, it's just turning into a bit of a nightmare here today, because that drive-through penalty, as Marcus Finkelhoff said, well, it could have cost them the championship. They can't think like that. They've got to go on the attack.
And on top of which, you can see this looks like the inside of the windscreen in the Lamborghini is beginning to get misted over. Yep. Condensation.
Yeah, so that's making Mark's work even more difficult as he tries to chase the Nissan of Jamie Campbell-Walter in these tricky conditions at the Golden Port circuit here in Beijing. 10 minutes to go then, and right now it's looking very good indeed for Aston Martin as Thomas Enger leads from Stefan Mucker and Hohenadel. It's an Aston Martin 1, 2, 3 at the moment in the qualifying race. 2 young driver cars ahead of the Hexus car. Then Lucas Luhr holding on for Nissan in 4th place. The championship leading car, the number 23 machine, looking to score more points. We're watching the championship contender here, Marc Basseng, desperately trying to claim back some of the lost ground after that drive-through penalty. But that has been the big story of this race, as well as the off for Max Martin's Ford in the hands of Bertrand Baguette on the opening laps.
Well, Jeremy Campbell-Water managing to get the Lamborghini behind him for another lap. And there doesn't seem to be an awful lot that Marc Basseng can do. I suspect part of it is probably a limited amount of vision out of the car. The Lamborghini is not quick enough where it counts, and the Nissan is quick enough where it counts.
Yeah, so I don't think Marc Basseng's going to find this too easy at all, as you say. He's down there in 12th place, and, well, could be languishing there for the remainder of this race, which would be disastrous. Back to the battle for 2nd place here. The white Aston Martin of Stefan Mucker.
Oh, the Corvette.
Yeah, that's, is that Ho Pin Tong? It is, who's gone off. And oh dear.
Safety car.
Yeah, now that's going to close everybody up and make Thomas Enger's life a little bit more difficult. Let's take a look. This is what he's done, John.
Yeah, coming into turn 8, just too hard on the brakes, gets it locked up. We don't quite see. He just runs the outside edge of the track, but almost like a magnet, he's drawn into the gravel, showers over the front of the car, and inevitably and eventually grinds to a halt on the exit of turn 9.
Oh, well, not good news for Ho Pin, the Chinese driver. There's his teammate, Jeroen Den Boer, just standing by and watching those TV screens. No sign of the safety car out as yet. Still the battle going on for 2nd place here, as Stefan Mucker manages to keep Christian Hohenadel and Lucas Luhr behind him. And then the other Hexus car of Steph Dusseldorf. So actually all 4 Astons are now in the top 5 places. The only interloper spoiling the party for Aston is the Nissan of Lucas Luhr and Michael Krum, which started on the penultimate, well, actually, no, a couple of rows from the back, but it still started a long way down after Lucas's mistake in qualifying yesterday, which meant they didn't get through from even the first segment of qualifying. And they've made great ground since then, particularly Michael in the first stint.
Well, have we ever seen a single mark dictate or dominate the podium of 1, 2, 3? I don't think so.
We have, no, I think...
Oh, now the back end just slipping a little bit away from him, coming out of turn 9, diving down the inside, trying to find a way past Jamie Campbell-Water. Again, not quite able to get the car sufficiently far alongside to take the corner away from the Nissan.
Safety car has been deployed, as you said it would be, and that means everybody will be closing up to one another again as they try and get the Corvette of Ho Pin Tong out of the gravel trap down there.
Yeah, just at the exit of this corner, there it is. It's not in any, what I would call a dangerous position. Nevertheless, it's a car in a part of the racetrack that the organisers, they want to see it removed to safety. The point is, this race may now finish under a safety car, because 6.5 minutes or so remaining, they're not going to get that car removed, in my view, and under that time. I'd be surprised.
Yeah, absolutely right. So it could be good news for Thomas Enger, who is still out in front, of course. It will close everybody up.
Well, in fact, what they'll do, they'll not remove the car, they'll just finish the race under a safety car.
Well, maybe. I think they'll still have a go at moving the car, but it takes a little while to get the recovery vehicle over to that section, and they want to wait until the race has been neutralised, perhaps.
But where's the safety car? We haven't seen it on camera.
Presumably he's going to pick up the race leader. We're still looking at the guys further back. There we are with the leaders now. We're on board the 3rd place car of Christian Hohenadel, which has also had a pretty impressive run in this race. They did a reasonable job in qualifying. They were on the 5th row of the grid, but nonetheless, Hohenadel in particular has been very, very impressive. Piccini, of course, early on as well, as the fans just absorbing the sights and sounds of GT1 racing here in Beijing. Fantastic to see the cars racing in this massive city. Of course, we're just in the Chaoyang district of Beijing, up quite close to the airport, in fact, and this track very much a prelude to what's going to be happening, hopefully, at the Olympic Park. And certainly there's a demonstration run at the Olympic Park this year. Perhaps we'll be looking at racing here at the Olympic Park in the future for GT1. But there is the crocodile.
First time we've seen the race leader for about over half the race, because the lead that Thomas Enger was able to build up after a great pit stop, and by the poorer pit stop of Stefan Mucker when he stole the car. Now, there's not a huge amount of urgency about getting this car removed. They will do so. It's a case of maybe more haste, less speed, as we watch the clock tick away, 4 minutes 50 seconds of this race remaining. Not only will they have to remove the car, but they will have to clear away